On the news tonight, Governor Soludo calls for collective action against insecurity in the state. Anambra state government demolishes more illegal structures, obstructing waterways. Federal government to absorb 28,000 health workers affected by USAID closure. And on the foreign scene, 3 more Israeli hostages freed in Gaza. Security is yet to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, remember, security is everyone's business. And for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, let us join forces with the government in securing our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security operatives for better security of lives and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5111 and 0800220008. And welcome to the news on ABS Television. I am Ogenerume Ogogome, and now the news in details. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has called for increased collective action against insecurity in the state. Governor Soludo was speaking in a sober burial mass attended by hundreds of Anambra who came together to honor the life of the former lawmaker of Onitsha North Constituency 1 at Anambra State House of Assembly, late Honorable Justice Azuka, who was tragically kidnapped and killed under circumstances that have left many in shock. Government House correspondent Ejike Abana was there and now reports.
The burial held at St. Mary's Catholic Church, Onitsha, was marked by grief and a call to action as Governor Soludo emphasized the need for collective responsibility in ensuring public safety. Governor Soludo, who joined family members, colleagues and constituents at the burial, condemned the violence that claimed the lawmaker's life, requesting all to join forces to uphold the safety and dignity of Anambra communities and make it the preferred destination.
On behalf of myself, my family, the government, and the great people of Anambra State, I say the even in Anambra. First of all, is the immediate family, Honorable Justice Azoka, Dono, Ogadema. We are working together, working cooperatively together, and the death of justice, I say, was a messenger. But it's 1,000 of them are here. It doesn't replace the precious life of justice. But it is good news that literally all of them involved in that heinous crime are now under captivity and they will pay their responsibility.
Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Somtochukwu Udeze, and members of the 8th Assembly, former Governor Peter B, Senator Victor Ome, Senator Tony Nwoye, Right Honorable Pascal Abudike, members of the State Executive Council, among others, attended the event. Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has vowed that his administration will protect the state's residents at all costs and will continue to make the state uncomfortable for criminals. The governor made the promise at the State House of Assembly, Oka, during a valedictory session for the member that represented Onitsha North Constituency 1, late Honorable Justice Azuka, who was recently kidnapped and murdered by hoodlums. Correspondent Imao Konkwo filed in this report.
Professor Soludo, who was represented by his deputy Dr. Onyeka Bezin, while commending members of the State House of Assembly for the speedy passage of the Homeland Security Law, said that the law has in no small measure helped the state government to achieve a lot in provision of adequate security in the state and encouraging the Anambra to support the security agencies by providing them with necessary information that will enable them discharge their duties efficiently.
On behalf of Mr. Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, we want to, with heavy hearts, sympathize with this great assembly and the Anambra in general for this youngster that has gone.
Earlier, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Tochhu Deze, commended security operatives in the state for apprehending the killers of the late Honorable Azoka and assured that the Assembly would not abandon the family of the late Honorable Azoka left behind, but will ensure that the children receive the care and love they deserve.
I deeply appreciate everyone present here, standing with us in this painful time. I also acknowledge those who have sent their condolences through calls, messages, and prayers across various platforms. Your support has been a great source of comfort and a testament to the deep relationship Honorable Justice Azoka cultivated during his lifetime.
Anambra State House of Assembly in Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS News.
Residents of Enekwasampu erupted in celebration following the Anambra State Joint Task Force dismantled illegal construction activities in their community. The enforcement team, led by the chairman of Anambra State Physical Planning Board, Barrister Chike Maduekwe, targeted ongoing developments that obstructed vital water drainage channels, including a sizable two-story building. Correspondent Ejike Abana monitored the exercise and now reports.
The intervention came after the unidentified developer disregarded the multiple warnings from the authorities. Barrister Maduekwe highlighted the significant impact of the illegal structures, which not only blocked waterways but also obstructed access to a major street. He stated that the state government will pursue legal action to recover the cost incurred in the enforcement, adding a stern warning to those who engage in constructing unapproved structures.
Because somebody just came and in his own wisdom built on top of a canal. So he has blocked the canal, built on top of it. We went and warned him. He continued building. Nobody's above the law. We are not afraid of anybody. When we keep quiet, it's just to give you time to realize your mistake.
Residents expressed their gratitude to the government's swift action, describing the illegal builder as a persistent nuisance who has impeded access and harassed individuals trying to navigate the area. In interviews with the ABS, locals voiced their relief and appreciation for the restoration of order in their community.
Organized labor has praised Governor Chukwuma Soludo for intervening and investigating the protracted crisis that rocks the contributory pension scheme in the state. They spoke through the state chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Comrade Humphrey Walford in Oka, during a one-day sensitization seminar on the overview of the contributory pension scheme in the state. Correspondent Chibuzo Bidike has the report.
Comrade Nwafo revealed that for 6 years from 2014, 5% of workers' salaries were deducted monthly under the contributory pension scheme, yet the funds were not remitted to the pension fund administrators, while the government also failed to pay its statutory 10% contribution while continuing the deduction from workers' salaries. He said the organized labor therefore demanded the immediate suspension of these deductions, which received a favorable response from the Soludo administration. The Anambra State Head of Service, Barrister Theodora Igwewe, who spoke through the Permanent Secretary of Finance in her office, Mr. Chinedu Acho, assured of the government's commitment to resolving all bottlenecks in the scheme.
It should be given to you finance with some interest and this may be. That aspect of your earning should not be swept under the carpet.
The Director General of the National Pension Commission, Omolola Olowararan, who spoke through the head of the Southeast Zonal Office, Ms. Chiade Noka, said the benefits of the contributory pension scheme to state governments are financial security and investment opportunities.
Chief Mwachukwu Nebe from Umwekili Ifite village, Nibo in Noka South local government area of Anambra State, It's a loggerhead with the General Overseer of Jesus Evangelical Everlasting Ministry, OCA, Pastor Israel Madubueze, over a land he gave the church for temporary use for more than 21 years ago. While Mr. Nebe is angry that the pastor evacuated from the land of every property they developed on it during the time, Pastor Madubueze insists that Mr. Nebe wants to claim both the land and their property on it. Joseph Ebutcher completes the story.
According to Mr. Nebe, in a statement he made available to journalists, he gave out his half-plot of land located at Ifitenibo for an initial 10 years and later 21 years instead of the 2 years the pastor had requested. He said that in 2020, when he came back from his base to reclaim the land, the pastor met him and it was agreed that he, the pastor, would be given an extra 4 years to relocate, which ended on 16th December 2024. Regrettably, while evacuating the land before the agreed date, Mr. Nebe claimed that the church removed everything hands could lay on, except a few blocks. The reason he is threatening to sue the pastor before a local deity. Reacting, Pastor Madubueze said their former landlord and member of the church only wanted to be handed over the key to the building after spending over 30 years abroad with no penny to build a house, adding that the church is presently in a person's family compound in Nibo while they look for another land in the community. He said that after many people had intervened and Mr. Nebe still insisted on demolishing their building, they left the land before the agreed deadline. In Oka, Joseph Ebosha reporting for ABS News.
Trump's order for the closure of the USAID has left many countries, especially in Africa, who are beneficiaries of the U.S. agency, in shock. The freeze in billions of dollars in global funding for the United States health and education projects in countries of the world, including Nigeria, continues to dominate global discussions. There have been palpable fears on the continental scene that the decision of the Donald Trump presidency to halt the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, will reverse the compounded gains achieved in the global fight and campaign against diseases and infections such as malaria, tuberculosis, human immunodeficiency virus HIV and its advanced stage, the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome AIDS. Nigeria's coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, speaks on Nigeria's preparedness to manage the impact of America's aid cut on interventions in the health sector. He also speaks on the fate of 28,000 Nigerian health workers previously paid by the aborted American program. He said that Nigeria can be able to cope, but it will take time for a system that has spent years without required infrastructure, equipment, and human resources to supply chain consumables. And on the foreign scene, 3 Israeli hostages have been freed from Gaza under a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas after a dispute this week threatened to derail the deal. The Palestinian Prisoner Society and Red Crescent Societies said that Israel has begun freeing hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in return. A group of 11 Palestinian prisoners who were released in the occupied West Bank, 4 prisoners were transported to the hospital upon release. The Israeli Prison Service ordered that the quote, "We will not forget and we will not forgive," to be inscribed next to a Star of David on the clothing worn by the released prisoners. Israel is expected to free 369 Palestinian prisoners in total. The Palestinian Prison Society said that 333 of whom were arrested in Gaza following the Hamas-led American-Israeli Sagu Dekel-Shen, Russian-Israeli Alexander Trifonov, and Argentinian-Israeli Leon were released in Khan Yunis, southern Gaza today, in 6th such exchange under the truce. They were seen exiting vehicles surrounded by militants who ushered the hostages on stage, where the captives addressed the crowd. And in sports, Kenyan athlete Edwin Kwech has won the men's category of the 2025 Access Bank Lagos City Marathon, which was held today. Kwech won the $50,000 first place prize for the men's category, while he is second after clinching victory in 2023 edition. The Kenyan ran for a record of 2 hours and 14 minutes. In the women's category, Ethiopia's Guta Epa emerged victorious, clocking a time of 2 hours and 37.2 minutes. The 2025 champion is the third-time winner of the marathon women's event, while the first Nigerian to finish the race, Ngoyo Boyi, made history by finishing in the top 10 positions. About 37,000 runners competed in the 10-kilometer and 42-kilometer races of the 2025 Access Bank Lagos City Marathon. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page, follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka, and on X at ABS Radio TV, also on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log into our website by logging on to www.absradiotv.com. To end the news, here are the main points. Governor Soludo has called for collective action against insecurity in the state. Anambra state government has demolished more illegal structures, obstructing waterways. Federal government to absorb 28,000 health workers affected by USAID closure. And on the foreign scene, 3 more Israeli hostages has been freed in Gaza. Remember, security is yet to stay in Anambra State. In the Anambra, remember, security is everyone's business. And for us to have a more secure and livable Anambra State, let us join forces with the government in securing our state. If you see something, say something. Report unscrupulous elements to the security operatives for better security of lives and property. Remember the emergency numbers 5111 and 080-022-008. And that's the end of the news on ABS Television. Oka, I am Ogene Romeo Gogome. Thanks for watching.